Hey, what's going on, everybody? Breaking news. First off, Christian Ballard with Ballard Sports Media. I hope everyone's having a great Monday. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Time to get back to work, time to get back to school, and all that. Don't forget, we'll be live here on the channel for the Unprofessional Sports Show, solo style tonight. You know, anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. Breaking news is that Hugh Freeze, oh my God, I'm actually excited for him, believe it or not. And I really don't like him. I like Hugh Freeze. I don't like Auburn. But the breaking news is that per multiple sources, Auburn is set to hire Hugh Freeze. Let's pull up his record real quick and look at what he's done so far as a head coach, because I think he's done amazing. He's one of the it's like this is a guy that you wonder, how does he not have a national title? Now, I will say this. He did terrible at Ole Miss. But he was at some school. I don't even know who the hell this is. Just call it what it is. Who is Lamb Booth? Mid-South Conference. Okay. He had a 20-5 record. He had one season with Arkansas State, went 10-2, departed from Arkansas State to go to Ole Miss before the bowl game, so he didn't coach the bowl game. He had one winning season at Ole Miss. He did not finish the 2016 season. He went 12-25. But what's so interesting about Hugh Freeze, great recruiter, what's so interesting is his job at Liberty. What he's done with that program. 8-5 in 2019, won the Cure Bowl. 10-1, won the Cure Bowl in 2020. This season, 8-4 with Liberty. Liberty is bowl eligible. We'll see what they do, and I'm not sure if they're going to have an interim coach or if Hugh Freeze is set to finish the season with Liberty. But when you look at it, Liberty's 8-4 this year. They're 34-15 overall. Or that's at least what Hugh Freeze's record at Liberty is. That's above 500. He's above 500 as a head coach. 76-47 as an overall head coach. He is also 5-1 in bowl games, if you do the math, at Ole Miss and Liberty. Let me see who all's in here. What's up, Sorgi? What's up, Cody? What's up, Brock? Hope you guys are doing well. Cody says he doesn't think. Well, the reports are that he is, Cody. So Hugh Freeze is going to Auburn. I mean, it's settled. The breaking news is that it's finalized per multiple sources. I want to bring up, let's look at 12 minutes ago, CBS Sports put it out. Let's stop share screen and let's read over what CBS Sports had to say. I'm not dropping the link on this one. I just wanted to come on here and report this. Auburn finalizing deal with Hugh Freeze, Liberty ex-Ole Miss coach nearing return to the SEC. Auburn is finalizing a deal with Hugh Freeze to become the Tigers' next head football coach. Sources close to the process tell CBS Sports Dennis Dodd. Freeze, 53. He's 53 years old. Looks actually pretty good for his age. Presently the coach at Liberty, having led the Flames to a 34-15 record since 2019. Done great the past few years. Did okay in the COVID year, did good last year. Liberty's been on the up and coming with Hugh Freeze. Conversations between the parties began weeks ago and continued through the weekend after Auburn's 49-27 loss to number 7 Alabama in the Iron Bowl on Saturday. The former Ole Miss coach who led the Rebels to a 10-3 season and second place in the West, SEC West finish in 2015, addressed the rumors about becoming the frontrunner to replace Brian Harsin on the Plains following Liberty's 49-14 upset loss to New Mexico State on Saturday. He was surprisingly upfront in his response. I don't even know what he said, so I'm fixing to find this out too. He said, "This is Hugh Freeze talking. I'm not the one to tell them, the players, something that's not true. Is the job everyone is talking about one that I would have interest in talking with? Sure. That doesn't mean they have offered me a job." Okay. The attraction to Freeze stems from his success at Ole Miss from 2012 to 2016. He was 39-25, including vacated wins, during his tenure, and beat Alabama and Nick Saban in back-to-back seasons, 2014 and 2015. Basically, it goes on to talk about his record at Ole Miss. I think that's a good question. I'm not sure exactly. Jeremy Garrettson, good to see you guys in here. Who we got? What's up, Jeremy? Sorgi. What's up, Brock? That is a good question. I'm not sure about the contract. I'm not sure how much it is. I'm sure it's huge. I think, here's my perspective. This is the right hire for Auburn. I think Hugh Freeze is one of the most talked about coaches, and deservedly so. Everything he's done for Liberty, everything he did for Ole Miss, incredible. Has he done good everywhere he's been? No. But that's like any other head coach. I mean, Nick Saban hasn't done good everywhere he's been. I think his first coaching job was like Toledo. He didn't really do too good at Toledo, I don't think. I mean, it's just a matter who's benefiting more. Is Auburn benefiting or is Hugh Freeze benefiting more? I don't know. But if I'm Auburn, I would get super hyped up and excited for this hire. I really would. I'd be hesitant, but if you have to choose either to get really ticked off or to get really excited, one or the other, why would you get mad over this hire? There's nothing wrong really with Hugh Freeze. I think Hugh Freeze has just needed to take some time to go to a place like Liberty. So, I think it's one of those where he wasn't ready from the start of his career, much like any other coach. When you first start out coaching in college football, you're gonna get off to a rough start. You are. That's just how it is. That's just how it happens. And I don't know. I mean, he's picked it up well. And Hugh Freeze, I hear Feinbaum talk about Hugh Freeze all the time. Hugh Freeze this, Hugh Freeze that. And it's just, it takes time for any head coach to get into the feel of college football, to get into the feel of the game. And, that's Hugh Freeze. He might have a good overall record, but he might have some blemish on his record at some of the places that he's coached. when you look at it. I mean, what did I mention? Let me see. What was his worst coaching job? Let's see this. Um, so his worst coaching job was at, well, Ole Miss. But he went 10-2 for one season at Arkansas State before taking the Ole Miss job. He was at a college called Lambuth where he went 20-5. That's like Division III or something, I think. It looks like it. And then Liberty, 34-15, three straight bowl wins. So outside of the Ole Miss mishap, Hugh Freeze has done good everywhere he's been. Now, they got to be careful bringing him back in the SEC, and that's really what this comes down to. He's coming from Liberty, which is a good program because of Hugh Freeze, and because he did good there, that's what makes it such a good hire. Is his recruiting, his coaching style of offense. That's what makes it so interesting and such a great hire for Auburn to get Hugh Freeze. But they got to be careful because Auburn is not Liberty. Liberty is, Conference USA, if I'm not mistaken? That's not the SEC. So they got to be careful. What's up, Jacob? What's up, Slim? Auburn and Wisconsin hit a home run with their hires. Nebraska missed with their hire. Yeah, who did Wisconsin get again? Let me double check that. Sorry if it sounds like I'm losing my voice too. I don't know what's been going on. Oh, that's right. Yesterday they hired Luke Fickell. That's a home run hire. Hugh Freeze is a home run hire for Auburn. I would definitely agree there. And then you got Nebraska, which I guess anything at this point is an upgrade from Scott Frost. I know it's Matt Rule. I said this the other day. I was in the comments of Mark Rogers, and I said this. Matt Rule sucked with the Panthers. I mean, it was abysmal. It was bad. But he did so well in college at Baylor. Some guys are just meant for college. So a hire like Matt Rule to Nebraska, I'd take that. I don't want to sway away from Hugh Freeze for a second. I don't want to. I don't want to sway away from that because that is the biggest hire so far. Believe it or not, because Auburn historically. Now, I think the most interesting coach out there that's been hired, probably Luke Fickell going to Wisconsin. I think that's probably my biggest name because of what he's done at Cincinnati, what Luke Fickell's done at Cincinnati. But if you want to talk program-wise, Auburn's the biggest one. That's bigger than what Sorgi's mentioning here, Wisconsin. It's bigger than Nebraska. It's definitely bigger than Arizona State. So, and I'm not, putting any team or program or coaches under the bus. I'm trying to throw anybody under the bus. Auburn's just a big program. I know that I'm an Alabama fan. And I know I come on here, I might talk some crap about Auburn here or there. It happens. It's just trash talk. That's what we do. But in all respect, Auburn is a big-time program. It's a big job. especially for someone like me who lives in the state of Alabama. You know what the main prospects in the state of Alabama are? The Alabama coach, the Alabama quarterback, and then you got all these different schools to choose from. But who do they go to? The Auburn head coach, the Auburn quarterback. Those four, if you're a football fan, matter in the state of Alabama. Matt Rule is a great hire, but the bottom line is that Nebraska is not a program that can win a national title anymore. They need to lower their expectations. Look, if they have expectations of a title, they got another thing coming. They need to focus on getting bowl eligibility. They don't even need to focus on winning the Big Ten. They need to focus on 6 wins, getting to a bowl game, just getting to a bowl game. I think Matt Rule can do that for Nebraska. But I do want to hear from you guys because this is what we're breaking down now. Auburn is set to hire Hugh Freeze. These reports were going on for the past couple of weeks, even leading up to the Iron Bowl, that it's possible Auburn has their eye on a guy like Hugh Freeze. It's possible. He did a terrible job at Ole Miss, but he turned it around. Like, did he need some time? So he took a lower job at Liberty, and it got him going a little bit. Now he's in a position where he can go win anywhere. I doubt that. But at the same time, I think he's definitely someone that deserves a chance. I mean, it's a big hire. What? Are you leaving?
Yeah. I didn't do the spaghetti.
Sorry about that. Grandmother's leaving. Dang, I need some blinds in this damn room, honestly. I got to keep turning the computer. We'll talk more about this if you guys want to on the Unprofessional Sports Show tonight. And we'll recap games on the show tonight. But I did want to come on here as news was breaking. I think it's a home run hire. I really do. Auburn is such a big job in college football. It really is. It's a big program, and it needs a big-time name. Hugh Freeze. I mean, how many times – I know not all of us watch the Feinbaum show. I watch it. I look up to Feinbaum. I think he is good at what he does, and like to an extent. And watching him was the inspiration for my career path. So I'm going to watch Paul Feinbaum. Screw it. He talks about Hugh Freeze like there's no tomorrow. And he gives a lot of credit to Hugh Freeze in ways. You know, like, oh, Hugh Freeze this, Hugh Freeze that. And he's a good coach. Look at what he's done at Liberty. This is what he needs. I feel like, personally, because Hugh Freeze is still young, I feel like Hugh Freeze and Liberty, is it just me, or does it seem like the Liberty job he took and what he's done with Liberty is the catapult for his coaching future? He just needed to find the right start. He needed to be in the right position. You know, if you start out coaching Like I mentioned, Nick Saban started at Toledo. I don't remember how he did, but like Hugh Freeze started at Lambuth, Lambuth, and that's, like I said, that's got to be Division 2 or 3. 20-5. 1 year with Arkansas State, 10-2. He's still young. Ole Miss did not work out. He had so many losing seasons at Ole Miss. He had one 10-win season in 2015, won the Sugar Bowl. Then he went 0-7 overall. They canned him. But he takes a job at Liberty, and this dude's hitting 8 to 10 wins a season. 34-15 overall record. At Liberty, at least. Won 3 straight bowl games. The Liberty job that he's done is going to stick with him. That's what people want to base Hugh Freeze off of. That's what we're basing him off of. Is not the failure at Ole Miss. I mean, we look at that, but we look at Hugh Freeze and we say, what success have you had at Liberty, man? This is cool. I think it's a home run hire for Auburn. I really do. Now, is it going to work out? We will see. Time will tell. He's got to recruit. He's got to make his own coaching staff. What else? He's just got to go out there and win football games. You just got to go out there and win. Honestly, it shouldn't be that hard. And I know it's the SEC. And I know they got to deal with Georgia and Alabama every year. Outside of that, it shouldn't be too hard to be consistent and good at Auburn. That's a big program. If Hugh Freeze can get the recruiting under control and consistently build 6-win, 8-win, eventually 10-win season, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. But if he can start small and not even necessarily the record, but if he can win over the program, if he can if Hugh Freeze can build a right culture on the Plains, he's got a chance. He's got a chance. I'm trying to think. I mean, I've said everything I need to say. We'll be live on the Unprofessional Sports Show. I don't drop the link on there. Let's drop the link today, though. Let's drop the link on this one. I want to get you guys on. And I do want to hear some of your thoughts on this hire because this is interesting. This is huge for Auburn football. I don't know if it's good for right now. I don't know if it's going to work out. But if you had to flip a coin for it, and you had to decide who in their right mind would look at Hugh Freeze and say, what a failure. I mean, seriously. What's up, Black Star? What's up, Slim?
Well, first of all, that comment you have posted to the screen is some of the most ignorant shit I've ever seen in my life.
Jacobs?
To say that Nebraska can never win a national title again Sir, 15 years ago, people were saying the same thing about Georgia.
Yeah.
So stop it.
But here's a simple fact.
And 5 years ago, Paul Feinbaum, Ballard's hero, was on TV hollering no coach in their right mind would come to Miami. He's been proven wrong twice. So
That's true.
To me, Auburn getting Matt Rule, that's an horrific hire.
you mean Nebraska getting Matt Rule?
Auburn getting Matt Rule? Or no?
No, Nebraska did.
Yeah. Nebraska got Matt Rule. Auburn getting Hugh Freeze is an horrific hire.
Really? I thought it was pretty good.
They should have got Dion.
Okay, I gotta hear this.
Think about it. If you want players to go to your school, get Prime to recruit to go to your school. He got people to go to Jackson State. Think about that for a couple of seconds.
Hey, what's going on, Ballard?
What's up?
He got
Jacob?
five.
It's been a while.
He
Yeah,
got
that's
5
true.
and 4 stars to go to Jackson State. Think about what he can do at Auburn.
Yeah.
Well, I would still say Dion needs to prove himself as head coach. That would be my argument there, because there's a
He got 5
huge
and 4
difference.
stars to go to Jackson State. That's not proving
That
himself.
he got like 3 of them, and once again, winning at Jackson State is one thing. Winning in a Power 5 conference is something totally different.
Well, yeah, that's true, but Auburn's been lacking talent for the last decade, and Dion can really change that.
What
So,
the hell?
I mean, Hugh Freeze can too.
yeah, I definitely hire Freeze over Dion, no question. But
He
I'm saying
cheated.
Dion would not be the worst hire.
He cheated to get recruits.
Everybody does. Which point?
Dion didn't cheat
Yes,
to
he
get
did.
players to go
Everybody
to Jackson
does.
State.
He literally paid Okay, it's not cheating, but they literally paid Travis Hunter $2 million to come there. And On3 is reporting that Travis Hunter's contacted Miami about transferring. So it's like I told everybody when it happened, he's going there for the check and then he's going to leave.
He got
That
players.
was called a bit. That was a business decision. He had a 5-star.
Mississippi. Hugh Freeze cheated to get his dudes. Dion did it.
No, Dion paid him just like Hugh Freeze did. It just wasn't legal when Hugh Freeze did it.
It was cheating. He cheated. That's
They
different.
literally did the same thing. But when Hugh Freeze did
Is
it,
it
it
cheating?
wasn't legal
Did
to
he
do
cheat?
it.
Did he cheat? Answer my question. Did he cheat?
I don't think
By
Dion
today's rules, no.
I don't
Exactly.
think Dion would be the worst hire in the world, but when you can get a guy
That
like
answers your question.
Freeze, get Hugh Freeze.
By today's rules, no, he didn't. Guess what he's going to do at Auburn? He's going to pay players, and he's not going to get in trouble for it.
No, he's not. He's just going to get dudes off his personality. Are you kidding me? Hugh Freeze is a cheater.
Everyone uses
Hugh
that.
Freeze got hosed. That's how he got
Everyone-
those dudes.
I know.
Okay, what's your point? I've seen it with players at every level.
Dion didn't get
I
hosed.
played
He
high
get
school
hosed
with
to
it.
get his dudes
I
to
played
go to Ole Miss.
I played high school football with a guy that went to
So?
a D1 program, and there were all kinds of recruits throwing hookers through his bedroom window. Hugh Freeze is far from the only
So,
one.
he got caught.
Yeah, now he can do it legally.
No,
actually
you
to have-
can't get hosed.
Actually,
You can't get
if
hosed
you
to
have the
get cool.
if
That's
you have
illegal
the
in any
if you
in
have the
any state in the
hose
world.
give them the money, it's perfectly legal. So that's where they come in handy.
what?
I
Listen
said,
to yourself.
if you get the hose to give him the money, it's perfectly legal to hand them the money now.
No, that's not legal.
Yes,
What
it
do you
is.
Yes, it is.
If
Yes,
the hose
it is.
run a
Literally,
business, then yeah.
That's legal.
Then yeah.
they don't
it's legal.
have to run a business.
But to get,
I can literally go give a player money. That's how the NIL collectives work.
oh my God, Hugh Freeze is gonna go 2-10. I guarantee you.
Oh,
I promise you. He's going
Stop
to
it.
Stop.
He's going 2-10.
Stop it.
He's going 2-10. Hugh Freeze sucks ass as a coach. He
Okay.
sucks.
Hugh Freeze is the best hire Auburn can make.
Okay.
8-4 at Liberty. Deion went 11-0 at Jackson State.
Yeah,
There's
8-4
the
Liberty
difference.
was just in the FCS 3 years.
10-1 or 11-1 the year before.
Liberty was just in the FCS a few years ago. Now they're going 11-1 and 8-4. You realize how
Right?
8-4, and they suck.
Sounds pretty damn
ass.
good.
just like,
Actually, they were knocking off Power 5 teams, but okay.
just like
Oh,
with
they're knocking out Power 5 teams. Come on.
Carolina FCS a few
You kidding
years
me?
ago. Now
They literally just beat Arkansas, so they're even beating vaunted
And what's
SEC
Arkansas's record
teams.
this year? What's Arkansas's record this year?
Hey, it's the mighty SEC.
What's
I don't want to hear it. With
Quiet
lowly
and
Liberty,
listen to my question.
with
What's
lowly
Arkansas's
Liberty, shut the
What's
fuck up.
Arkansas's
Jesus
record
Christ.
this year? Answer
I'm
my
gonna-
question.
Ain't nobody listening to you
What's their
because you're
record?
talking
What
ignorance.
is their record? Answer my question.
Now, Jacob, you want to defend your statement there? Because I did bash it.
Answer my question. You didn't answer my question.
No, I'm talking to Jacob. You shut your mouth. Grown folks talking.
Grown folks talking. Shut your bitch ass up. Answer my question. What's Arkansas's record?
This is taking a turn. Jacob.
Now, Jacob, do you want to defend
Jacob,
your statement there?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
My statement. I don't think Nebraska can win a national title anymore. I mean, they have the facilities. Their location is stuck up in the cornfields. It's too hard to recruit there, and I don't.
Well, they do have the facilities, but okay.
I mean, it's just too hard to recruit there. I mean, that's why they hired Matt Rule, because Matt Rule's a great developer of talent. He's a really good coach, and I mean, he turned Temple around, turned Baylor around. You know, two schools that wouldn't win a national title either. So, I mean, it's the same thing.
Well, Baylor can. Hell, Baylor was picked preseason to make the playoffs.
You know, big difference between playoffs and national title, in my opinion.
Well, no, not really, because you got to get to the playoffs to win it.
Yeah, that's true, but you know, it's like Cincinnati would never win a national title. So,
Well, no, they're not Power 5. They don't play the same level of competition. Baylor does.
I mean, but I mean, Nebraska can make a New Year's Six bowl. They can win, 10, 11 games on occasion, but I think a national title is out of their reach nowadays.
Like I said, that's okay. I mean, but people said the same thing about Georgia, and they proved them wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean, when people say that about Georgia, I mean, it may have been.
Do what?
I mean, when people talk about Georgia like that, I mean, was it before I started watching or what?
Probably. It definitely got said in the 90s.
Well, I mean, yeah, but Georgia had to make changes. I mean, Georgia had to immensely upgrade their facilities and take some of the boosters out of the occasion, and so Georgia had to make some changes. And then with Kirby, they won the national title.
Okay, so what's to stop Nebraska in that case?
I mean, yeah, but the difference between Nebraska is, I mean, Georgia's located in the southeast where the best talent is. Nebraska's all the way up in the Midwest, around Wisconsin and Iowa and all that. So it's just,
Yeah, they're not too far from Columbus, Ohio, as a matter of fact.
Well, yeah, but
Interesting.
Ohio State, really populates that area.
I mean,
now with the rise of Michigan, now it's going to be even harder to recruit there.
You know who made that exact same argument too? Not even about Georgia. Same argument was made about Oregon, and that one got proved wrong too.
And Oregon's never won a national title before, but I think
No, but they've made it.
they've made it there. It's definitely possible to win one, but no, they haven't.
Well, I mean, if you can make it to it, you can definitely win it.
Yeah, Oregon could definitely win one. I just don't think Nebraska nowadays would be able to do that. But that's just my opinion.
So I said this. I mean, it's obviously a step up from Brian Harsin, but let's be honest, Auburn still. I mean, Auburn wants to have consistent winning seasons. I mean, every program wants that, but like once in a blue moon is when they beat their rivals, Georgia and Alabama. They want to do that more often. That's the big task, and that's the big question for Hugh Freeze. If you think about it, is can he do that, and can he compete for the West on a regular basis?
Well, yeah, Auburn's expectations are ridiculously high, but I think Hugh Freeze can do some really good things at Auburn. I really
I'll tell you what, their recruiting's fixing to go through the roof.
I think Hugh Freeze is a really good coach. I really think he can do some big things.
Appreciate it, boss. Well, Ballard, that the gentleman you had on right before us would disagree. He's not going to be able to recruit at Auburn.
There's a part of me, and I don't know what it is. I think he might. I think he's.
Of course, Hugh Freeze will.
Right.
Everybody knows it. Everybody knows Hugh. Now, what I find funny is I heard from a whole lot of fans of SEC teams that Hugh Freeze was blackballed and he couldn't be hired by any SEC team. I mean, so what? I mean, what is Auburn going rogue here? They fucking the system.
It's not necessarily that he couldn't have been hired. It's just the SEC had to prove it.
I don't think the commissioner of any conference is in any way consulted when hiring any coach in any program. And I'd be willing to bet my paycheck on that.
Nick Saban wanted to hire him as an assistant in 2017, and the SEC turned that down.
I don't think the SEC could have stopped him.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I mean, I can go ahead and tell you for a fact that Miami didn't run any of their hires by John Swofford.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Like I said, maybe they do it different in the SEC. I don't know. I mean, because the SEC, they got the rule about storming the field, and no other conference does. So I don't know. I'm just saying that seems very weird.
Maybe you're right, but I just heard that the SEC basically told Nick Saban not to hire Hugh Freeze because he was about to do it.
Something tells me the SEC probably asked Nick Saban for permission to do shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like how that would go down.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Maybe you're right. It would be far-fetched to tell the team not to hire this guy or this guy.
Like I said, I could be wrong. It may just be how they do it there. I don't know. But I definitely like the hire. I think all three of these hires, I think Georgia Tech's kind of sucking high and tit when it comes to making hires this carousel season.
Well, Georgia Tech might as well just keep the coach they have now. I mean, they've been playing so much better since the beginning of the season.
Well, they hired the coach from Tulane.
Oh, yeah. I'm saying they should just keep the coach they have now. That's what I would do. Brent.
I mean, my suggestion when I talked to C-Dog about this was Georgia Tech needed to hire the guy from, East Carolina, I think. He had done pretty good at his time there.
I mean, yeah, or they can get Jamie Chadwell from Coastal Carolina.
Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
That's what you're thinking of, Slim.
Yeah, I think that's what.
Okay, I got you. Is that Colby? That voice sounded familiar.
Yeah, that's Colby.
Yeah, I just came in here to ask Slim if I could still borrow that piss from him.
Well, damn it! I just poured my bottle out. You're gonna have to wait till I fill it back up, sir.
All right, 10-4.
I mean, if you'd have got me literally 3 minutes ago, I just poured it out. I want your opinion because you watch enough football. I mean, do you think there's any credence to the statement that powerhouse teams can't come back and will never win a national title ever again? Because I remember it wasn't long ago people said the same thing about Michigan, and look at them now.
No, absolutely not. I mean, anybody can win a national championship, especially if they're in the past they've been a power. Miami could win a national championship. And
yeah, well, that's
and I almost threw up when I said that, but I mean, it's still true.
Well, Jacob's trying to make the argument that Nebraska can never win a national title again.
Oh, is that okay? So I just joined, so I didn't hear all that.
Yeah,
Nebraska. Yeah, why not? Yeah, Nebraska could definitely win a national championship again. I mean, like if 2 years ago, if you would have said Tennessee would have won a national championship, I mean, they were close this year. I know they had the 2 losses, but hey, they were number 1.
Well, I mean, I know we all talk trash on the internet, but it's absolutely been said amongst some of these shows that Tennessee ain't never going to win nothing again.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. Yes, I would stand by your statement rather than Jacob's. Yeah.
I'm just making sure I'm not crazy because I mean it could be possible. I could be crazy.
Well, you're
actually
crazy,
likely,
but you're crazy, but the statement wasn't crazy.
Well, what do you think, Ballard, considering old Hugh Freeze's record against Saban when he was at Ole Miss?
I mean, you're going back to 2015, 2014, beat us back-to-back years. I mean, this, as an Alabama fan, I mean, if he does what I think he might do and turn Auburn around and get it back on track, I mean, I'd be a little worried about some Iron Balls upcoming. I mean,
at least for the next couple of years, because I don't think Saban's got too much left in him.
No, I'd be on agreement with you there.
I mean, and I could be wrong. He just doesn't strike me as the Joe Paterno or Bobby Bowden type that he's going to hang out on the sideline until he's got, he's stepping down with a second foot in the grave.
Yeah.
See, I disagree with that, Slim. I think he will die. Sorry, I had a call real quick. Can you also hear me?
Yeah.
See, I disagree with that, Slim. I think Saban is going to die on Alabama's field. I think he will not give up that position.
I mean, the only reason I said that is because Saban strikes me as the type, and this is, trying to do some, my own psychotherapy and character analysis. He doesn't strike me as the type that if he sees that, teams under him are sliding and sliding and sliding, that he would stick around. He'd just go ahead and hang it up. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah. I know.
I would agree.
I mean, really, obviously neither one of us are in Nick Saban's head, so you absolutely could be right.
Yeah, I mean, he always does that used car dealership that he can always resort to as a career.
What I want to know, what I do want to know is when you go back a couple coaches for Auburn we talk about Gus Malzahn. I mean, is Auburn's next move as far as hiring coaches after what Malzahn did? He had a pretty good record, had a couple bowl wins, but he always lost them for the most part. I mean, is that the coach Auburn wants to base their next hire on going forward? Like, oh, if we could have, 8 to 9 wins a year, and every once in a while a 10-win season, we're set. I mean, is that kind of what like what Auburn wants to do going forward? Do you think?
I don't know. I mean, Auburn's screwed, to be honest, man. I don't.
All right.
I really don't like the. I mean, it's the best option out there, the Hughes Freeze offer, but it's going to be it's a difficult job. You got to play Alabama every year. You got to play Georgia every year.
Yeah.
Well, until the SEC does their whole shit show where they don't have conferences anymore and pause or blah blah blah. Who knows? But I'll tell you who was the best candidate. It's Gus Malzahn. Gus Malzahn should come back to Auburn. Yep,
I honestly, and I'm not trolling, I'm not trying to make jabs at Auburn. I really think they made a big mistake letting that man go.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, he kind of set a standard in a way.
I kind of retract that statement. I think they made a good job of letting them go, but where they went forward in the hiring process was a huge mistake.
Yeah.
well, and I was about to say I would agree with the firing of him because he never matched up or never replicated his highest peak. I mean, let's not forget, Gus Malzahn made the national title game.
Yeah, first year too. He had only two 10-win seasons. In 2013, he ended up going 12-2, and then 2017, 10-4, where he lost the Peach Bowl to UCF.
The one thing that got Gus Malzahn a lot of credit for Auburn fans was he kept giving Alabama close games and even beating them at times.
See, and that's what Auburn, I think, at least to start, they need that head coach that can consistently make the Iron Bowl competitive and can I'm not saying go on a big streak against Alabama. You don't have to do that, but what Gus Malzahn did, I mean, to win the Iron Bowl every 2 to 3 years, that's something Auburn's looking for in a head coach. The question is now, with Hugh Freeze as the hire, can he do that? Can you beat your in-state rival? Can you?
Well, it's not going to happen immediately.
Well, no, it's not. I mean,
and let's be honest. I would say that Freeze may be there longer. If I'm right, Hughes may be there longer than Saban. I mean, who's to say Auburn doesn't go on a run beating them after Saban leaves?
Oh, when Saban leaves, Auburn's got the Iron Bowl locked up. I guarantee it. Because I don't know who the hell we're going to get. We're not getting Dabo. I've already accepted it.
Well, a lot of people had Mario as the heir apparent to Nick Saban, and that's not happening.
No, because if he had not took the Miami job, maybe. But considering he's taking this job at Miami and he's building a culture there, yeah, he's not going to be the predecessor. What's the term?
The heir.
The heir, yeah.
I feel like a lot of talk was around the Oklahoma State coach.
Mike
Gundy.
Yeah, last year, but now this year he kind of, I don't want to say shit the bed, but he didn't perform to what Oklahoma State wanted him to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. In my opinion, Mike Gundy would be foolish to leave there. Because there really are no expectations at Oklahoma State.
Well, you can always get Dabo.
Maybe. I'm kind of with Clemson fans. I'm not sure how hot Dabo is on leaving Clemson. Considering what he's built it into.
Yeah, I don't think Dabo's leaving Clemson. I think he'll retire there.
He strikes me that way.
Yeah, exactly. You can always get Mel Tucker.
Oh. Ow, that was mean, sir.
That's so bad.
Well, I was talking about you, Miami fan.
What do I need Mel Tucker for?
You obviously need something.
Yeah, recruiting and time.
I thought what y'all's recruiting is pretty good right now, right? Honestly,
They're probably going to finish somewhere in the top 6, 5 or 6.
yeah. So yeah. So you need someone that can recruit? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, he is recruiting.
He just can't coach, huh?
I think he still has some things to learn as a head coach, but I don't think he's bad.
Slim, bro, come on now.
You ain't pulling me into that. I'm not one of those Miami fans that said they were going to win 10-plus games and might win the ACC and come backdoor into the playoffs. That wasn't me. You ain't pulling me into that because I never said it.
What's Miami's record right now? Or
They're 5-7.
what'd you have them at the beginning of the year? Like going. What was your prediction?
Well, I changed my prediction, actually. The day they hired Mario, I said they were going to go 6-6. And then after he hired his staff, I was like, well, I can see, 8-4, 9-3 if things work out, and things didn't work out.
I hear you. Well, 6-6 was a good prediction.
It's the way things normally work out. Your
mean,
first year of a new
year,
coach.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Kirby's first year wasn't great.
No, we lost to Vandy.
Vandy, Georgia Tech, and Tennessee.
Yeah.
So it's just how it normally goes. That's why I wasn't blowing up about it. It's why I think Uncle Lou sounded foolish talking about it.
What do you say? What do you say that sounded foolish?
I mean, he started in there towards the end of the season on they need to blow up the program from the top down. I'm just like, well, no. He gets a little hyperbolic sometimes and loses his head. He's okay. Like I said, with his recruiting ability and the guys he's got there, I don't have a lot of. I mean, yeah, it was Middle Tennessee State game horrible and inexcusable. Yeah, it was.
Don't y'all have like Charlie Strong? Don't y'all have Charlie Strong?
He's the co-defensive coordinator.
Well, who's the other one?
That's a good guy to have too.
Kevin Steele.
Do you think
He was at
leadership?
he was.
Slim, do you think there's too much leadership in one program?
No, I think it got proven early on in the season. You went from Manny Diaz, who was what's the best way to put this? All right, I'll put it in terms everybody can understand. Manny Diaz, as head coach, wanted to be the cool parent. And now you have Mario, who definitely runs it much more business-like than Manny does. So you've basically gone from, the soft parent to the strict parent.
Well, I mean, yeah, I can see that, but I feel like that's just a lot of leadership in one program.
I mean, you've got 2 guys that have been head coaches on your staff, if not more.
We got Will Muschamp. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Charlie Strong's the only former head coach we've got on our staff, so
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, was some of the performances inexcusable? Yes, but when you take things in their totality, all 5 original starting offensive linemen are out with injury. I mean, you literally saw it in this game against Pitt. 2 quarterbacks got injured.
Yeah, and I said this on Fish and Football stream that Saturday night. Everyone gets injuries, right? But Miami, they got hit bad with injuries.
Yep. I mean, perfect example. It same thing happened to Tampa last season. Their entire secondary was out injured. So sometimes
I don't speak NFL.
Well, okay, perfect example. How many seasons have you seen go downhill at Georgia when your starting running back went out for the year? I can think of a few off the top of my head.
Can you name them?
They were all under Mark Richt. I mean, I'd have to look it up, but
You can name off the top of your head, but you have to look it up. That's completely false.
Look at this.
That is completely false, Slim.
please explain.
UGA is okay. A lot of people claim RBU. Yeah, I get it. But Georgia has had a lot of running backs that can step up if a starting running back comes down.
I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about specifically when you saw your offenses
you said under Mark Richt.
Yes.
And you said off the top of my head I can name a few. So go ahead.
No, I said off the top of my head I can think of a few. I mean, to name I don't keep a running knowledge of Georgia's quarterbacks. It's hard enough to keep up with all of Miami's. Or running backs, not quarterbacks. Jesus.
That's never happened at UGA. Nick Chubb got hurt at Tennessee. He got carted off, and Tennessee fans were doing nah.
Okay.
Nah. You know who stepped up? Sony Michel.
Okay. Mark Richt was there 15 years, so it never happened. You never saw. As a matter of fact, who were the running backs when Aaron Murray was there? Because I could have swore one of them was under Aaron Murray.
No Sean Marino.
Because I remember sitting there watching the clip of it happening and thinking to myself, damn, I felt bad for Georgia. Because they had an all-star.
Yeah. Yeah, that was at Tennessee too. Like
was it?
There's like a curse that Georgia fans say, like running backs get hurt at Tennessee.
Okay, well, see, that's what I'm talking about. And your offense literally just went on a downhill slide after that.
No. What do you mean? What define a downhill slide? 10-win season?
No, I said your offense went on a downhill slide after that.
Yeah, but
not your whole season.
Points win games, and
10 games. That depends on the defense, sir.
Flynn, I'm just telling you right now, and I literally just pulled into the voting center, so I have to go vote soon. Run Herschel, run, but yeah, every season in the past 20 seasons, we've always had the next man up for running backs at Georgia.
Well, then what inexplicable reason was there for Mark Richt not getting it done? Because, I mean, I can understand, like I said, your all-star running back goes down. You know, that makes sense, especially, you know, if you have a Heisman candidate running back. That makes all the sense in the world.
Well, imagine this. Like, Todd Gurley gets hurt, right? He got hurt. And guess who you have right behind him? Nick Chubb and Sony Michel. Nick Chubb.
Okay, but you keep bringing up that same one as the example. I'm not talking about when you had all three at the same time.
Nick Chubb gets hurt. Guess who comes in? DeAndre Swift.
Yes, and Miami's been loaded like that.
But all right, boy, I love you both.
I'm not.
I have to go vote. Vote red if y'all care. Like a true
hey,
American.
vote for who you want, sir.
I hear you there.
335, 618.
Yeah, I'm gonna write you in, Slim.
You gonna write me in? Well, I got you next time. I'll write you in.
I got you. I'm gonna put parentheses no fly list. Okay.
Ow! Now that was just uncalled for.
All right, boys. I gotta go.
See
This
ya,
thing
Colby.
closes at 6, so there's a line literally wrapped around the building. So I'm gonna hop in it.
All right.
See y'all later. Thanks, Ballard.
Thanks, man. What's up? We got Vic in the comments.
Well, what did he say, Ballard?
Good evening.
He is right though. That this has not been our year at all as far as injuries go.
Yeah. Has Tyler Van Dyke's been healthy, right?
He's missed 4 or 5 games.
Oh. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yep.
And I mean, we don't have the depth like Georgia's got built up, like Alabama's got built up to be able to sustain injuries like that. I mean, what isn't it? I think it was 2019. Y'all lost like 9 starters off the defense,
Yep.
but I mean, they still won 10 games.
Yeah, they did.
So, like I said, we don't have that kind of depth built up. That's what Cristobal's there to do.
I think he could do it too. I really do.
He can recruit. Like I told Colby, even I still have some questions about his in-game coaching ability, but I mean, number one, you can pull up boneheaded decisions just about any coach makes. And,
Yeah.
and number two, guys coming in like Kirby and winning a national title that quickly are the exception, not the rule. Most of them don't go through like that. I mean, you were talking about Saban earlier, Ballard. I mean, early on in his coaching career, as far as being a head coach, not pretty.
Yeah.
Toledo specifically, I can't remember, but I know it wasn't good at Michigan State.
Are we talking about Saban?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what was his record at Michigan State? Now I got to look this up. I know he sucked in the NFL.
Well, a lot of coaches don't pan out in the NFL. I mean, he's far from the only one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you've only got, 2 that have ever won titles at both levels? Maybe 3?
So Saban went at Michigan State. He was there for 5 seasons, 34, 24, and 1. But he lost all of the bowl games he played in.
Wow.
Or coached in. Yeah, he lost. I guess he vacated one, or maybe he left before the bowl game. I don't know. There's a Florida Citrus Bowl, but he lost like the Independence, the Sun, and the Aloha Bowl.
Well, at least he got to go to Hawaii.
Yeah, right. Who doesn't want that? It's on my bucket list.
Oh, I got a buddy that was stationed there in the Marines. He wasn't that impressed with it, but then again, when you're there for 4 years, I guess you get used to it.
Yeah. What's up? What's up, Cody? Am I ready for a conference championship this week? Yes. And I think the one I want to do, if I go live, I might go live for the Clemson North Carolina game to see if Clemson bounces back. Not that anyone in that game's going to the playoffs, but I mean, if a team in the ACC yet again can win it outside of Clemson, I think that'd be great.
Yeah, well, Miami probably would have been in that conversation years ago if they quit hiring and firing people every couple of years. But unfortunately, they can't get out of their own way.
Hope USC and TCU lose so Alabama could still make the playoffs. Look, I'm sorry, man. I know they're hyping this up. I really don't see Alabama making it, man. It's not our year. It was supposed to be, but Bill O'Brien and his dumbass had to go and screw things up.
Now, I need an explanation for that because I'm not seeing where Bill O'Brien's your problem.
I just think it's bad play calling and it's making the offense look like,
How many
garbage.
points a game did Alabama score?
I guess it was around 30-something, 40-something. That's fair.
Like I said, I don't see Bill O'Brien as your problem.
So what do you see the problem as?
Well, take your two losses. Tennessee, they clearly all the penalties. 100+ yards in penalties.
Yeah.
That's just undisciplined. Now, you can still point that back to the coaches, but at the same time, the players are the ones that do it. I get Tennessee had a really good offense this year. But, I didn't see Alabama's defense really even put up a fight.
We really didn't, actually. I mean, and this whole, you know what happened after that Tennessee game? I was not one of them, but there were a lot of Alabama fans on social media that wanted to cry and moan about officiating.
Bad calls are built into every game.
Right.
I mean, and I've said the same thing to Miami fans that still want to cry about that Fiesta Bowl loss to Ohio State. Cry about it some more. The game never should have been that close. Don't leave the outcome in the ref's hands, and it doesn't matter if they make a bad call. What was the other game Alabama lost this year?
LSU 32-31 in overtime.
That's right.
Yep. And there's nothing you can blame other than undisciplined towards the end of the game.
Now that game, I'll admit I didn't watch, so I can't really say. But I mean, you put 30 points up on the scoreboard. That's nothing to cry at your offensive coordinator about.
Right.
Now your defensive coordinator, well, it may be, but I can only partially blame him because I'm sure Saban's just involved with the defense as Kirby is with his defense. So a lot of that's going to fall back on Saban, at least in my opinion.
Yep.
Just like I say, Ole Miss's struggles passing the ball this year fall back on Lane Kiffin. Because, yeah, he's got an offensive coordinator, but hell, Lane Kiffin still calls plays.
Nick Saban Jr., Pete Carroll, Jimmy Johnson, and what other coaches won a national championship and in the NFL, I guess in the NFL Super Bowl wise?
Some people say this is legit. Some people aren't. When the Dallas Cowboys were in the middle of their run and Jerry Jones fired Jimmy Johnson, he hired Barry Switzer.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was right. I mean, he was handed a team that could have walked into the Super Bowl. So I can see the argument that a lot of people don't give Barry Switzer a whole lot of credit for that. I mean, especially, you still had Michael Irvin, still had Emmitt Smith, still had Troy Aikman, still had that offensive line. I mean, me personally, I say I'd give it to Barry Switzer. What's it hurt? But whatever.
Right. Nick Saban Jr. says Bill O'Brien lack of play calling. He is not creative, and his run play calling is horrible. I can say not being disciplined is a major part of it, and defensive personnel needs to get better. And we lost Slim. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. By the way, I think, like I said, I think I said something. Is it Holman Wiggins, I think? Jeremy Garrettson, to answer your question. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Again, the breaking news, Auburn hires Hugh Freeze as their next head coach. Me personally, I think it's a good hire. I credit Auburn. I think that they, are doing what they can to get the program back on track. And we'll just have to wait and see how it all turns out. I think Hugh Freeze, if he can recruit and consistently beat teams like LSU, Georgia, Alabama, if he could consistently compete to start, but then eventually beat those teams on a consistent basis, he has a chance. But we'll see. Anyway, I love y'all. I hope everyone has a great rest of your week. It's only Monday. We're off to a good start. I think I've made up my mind. I probably want to go live for the ACC championship this weekend. So Clemson, North Carolina. I know that neither one of those teams is going to the playoffs, but there's a good chance that someone else again win the ACC, not named Clemson. We will see. So, but I love y'all. Jesus loves you. He's got a great and amazing plan if you trust and believe that. We'll see you later tonight. We will do the Unprofessional Sports Show, I guess, solo style. Some drama between Chess and I. We're still best friends, but I didn't show up last week, and I think he's still pretty pissed at me. So, but anyway, I love y'all. We'll see you later tonight. Ballard Sports Media, checking out. Y'all have a good one.